What you doing, Diggletdreamers? You got Mathers back for more CDL content. And today it is the week 6 battle versus Blaze Templar. I definitely said it was week 5 previously, and I apologize. It was actually week 6. I've just been a little discombobulated because there's been 2 weeks where I haven't gotten in touch with my opponents and they haven't been able to battle, and it's a whole thing, but I'll figure that out soon. So this is week 6. The week 7 is technically the final week before playoffs, but of course I do still have, as well as some other people, we do have some more battles that we need to make up, so it'll probably be postponed at least a week or so. But I'll keep you posted. Hit that notification bell so you know when the videos are coming out. You know what I'm saying? Anyway, so this is week 6 versus Blaze Templar of the Nebraska Noiverns. If you want to check out his channel, link will be down below. If you want to check out the team builder as well, so you can figure out why I brought the team that I brought, you can check that out at the top right of the video screen now. Now that I've plugged everything, time to get into the battle. So as you can see, my opponent brought the Yan Mega, Quagsire, Porygon 2, Bronzong, Mega Ampharos, and Xatu. So first thing I see is that his only hazard control is Xatu right here. It's Magic Bounce, and it could have defog, so that is a possibility. But that means if I can get rid of this thing, Stealth Rock are going to go up, they're going to stay up, and they're going to do a lot to this Yan Mega right here. And they're also going to get me a lot of damage. Well, not a lot, but they're going to give me good damage on the rest of his Pokemon so that I can KO them as well. I have my 2 fairies here that are going to be doing a great amount of work. I obviously got to worry about the Bronzong, but that's the only thing that he has really to switch into fairy types. I also have my Ninetales is going to be great in this battle. His only fire resisted is Quagsire, and I have Solar Beam for that. Or actually, he does have Mega Ampharos does resist it. But anyway, I'm gonna put it on slow, and why don't we start it up? So I wanted to lead. I want to get my rocks up, so I lead Rhyperior, and he leads Quagsire. So this was a pretty, like, the first turn of this battle was a big turn because I want to get my rocks up. If I can get them up, even if he has defog on this thing, that's going to be taking 25% to come in and defog, which gives me an opportunity to do something else. Like, he's got to spend a turn going for defog. But I also know that he's probably worried about the rocks, and that if he wants to Magic Bounce, he's going to have to switch in right now. But on the other hand, his Quagsire is in, and his Water and Ground Stab both are super effective against Rhyperior. But I know, because I'm specially defensive and have Solid Rock, and it's probably not an offensive Quagsire, that I'm going to be able to take any one hit. So I could go for my Stealth Rock here, but I'm just so sure that he's going to go into Xatu. So I go for the Rock Blast, and in comes the Xatu. I get 1 hit. I get 2 hits. I need a third. Can I see a third? I get a third, and his Xatu is gone. That's his only form of hazard control. It is gone off the field. So now, of course, he gets to switch into something, but my Rhyperior is basically free to get Stealth Rock up at some point in the game. Doesn't have to worry about Magic Bounce. None of these Pokemon get Rapid Spin or Defog. It does. Actually, maybe Yan Mega does. That'd be like the worst defogger ever, but maybe it does. I don't want to speak incorrectly. So yeah, that's basically where I'm at right now. Great first turn read, and I actually didn't see. So we go to Yan Mega. I didn't see this. He sent me this message. Didn't see that during the battle, so I didn't reply. I apologize. I didn't mean to ignore you. My head was in the game, you know. So I have Florges here basically as a switch into his Yan Mega. I feel like he would go for like a Giga Drain, or maybe if he was Specs, Tinted Lens, he might go for Air Slash. But I figured he wouldn't send out Yan Mega on my Rock type to not go for the super effective move. So he does end up going for the Giga Drain. My Florges, of course, eats it up. And now I know his Bronzong is probably going to be his switch in, so I decided to make a play. He goes out into Bronzong as I expected, and I go into my Ninetales, get the Sun up. Sun is going to be great for my Rhyperior, taking on things like Quagsire. My Florges has Synthesis, my Whimsicott has Chlorophyll. So my team really likes the Sun, and it's not super obvious or anything. It's just like very subtle. Like I don't have anything that's an I don't have like a victory bell or a shift tree that's gonna, or Venusaur or something. I did think about drafting Venusaur though, I'll be honest. But pretty good spot to be in. I have flamethrower. I'm just gonna go for it. Why not? He doesn't have anything. Well, he has Porygon. But basically, flamethrower is pretty free because if he goes Quagsire to resist it, I click Solar Beam on the following turn. His Ampharos doesn't resist it yet because it hasn't Mega Evolved. And of course, yeah, Mega's not going to come in. So Porygon, I figured Porygon would come in, but I wanted to see what kind of damage I could get on this thing. And that's not too bad. So I make a mental note for later. I have Nasty Plot. I see that Porygon is probably going to be his switch in until he at least Mega Evolves his Ampharos. So I put that little thought, put it in my pocket, save it for later. I go into Rhyperior, guessing that even if he had like Ice Beam or something, I'd be able to take it and probably get my rocks up now. What does it go? Go for Psyshock. I eat that up. Does outspeed me, I think. Yeah, it does have the hidden power. I'm not sure what hidden power that is. Maybe grass or ice or water or something. But I get my Stealth Rock up, and they're there to stay, which is awesome. And now I want to go for the Toxic. So he switches out to Quagsire. Of course, takes on Rhyperior a little bit better than Porygon. And I get the Toxic off on the Quagsire, which is pretty big because without having, I obviously have grass type moves on my team, but that's basically the best way to take out Quagsire is either Toxic it or hit it with a grass move. So I'm able to land that Toxic, and that basically puts the Quagsire on a timer, makes it much less of a threat. I just need to, well, maybe he could have rest or something, but basically puts it on the back burner. Like it's gonna be whittled down. It's just a matter of time at this point. And I don't want to lose my Rhyperior just yet, so I go into Florges, which I know can probably take on this Quagsire. Goes for the Toxic, and I do have Heal Bell, so I decided to just go for that on the following turn as he switches back into Bronzong, but I'm okay with it. I just want to get rid of this Toxic on my Florges because I need it to be a switch in to things like Ampharos and yeah, Mega. So keep my Florges relatively healthy. I just pull a hard switch right in my Ninetales as the Bronzong does get up his own Stealth Rock. And I do have Defog on my Florges, but I don't really want to go for it because the Stealth Rock hurt him a lot more than they hurt me. And I know he hasn't Mega Evolved yet, so he's probably going to go into Porygon, which is going to take rocks, hasn't healed yet. So I can go for the Nasty Plot, which I do. So I have a Nasty Plot. I got the Sun up. I'm going for the Flamethrower. It does well over half, well not well over, but it does over half, which means it's going to be a 2 KO. As he actually goes for the Discharge, which I was not expecting, and he actually does get the Paralyzation. I was very sad about that, but funnily enough, I ended up outspeeding him anyway, even with the Paralysis, which makes me think he might be a Trick Room team. So, pretty cool. Ended up Ninetales getting a KO, but not looking good. Well, under half paralyzed, and he does decide to go into Mega. Takes the first Stealth Rock. I see that he does have the right amount of HP, so we can switch in one more time. But I decide that my Ninetales is not worth sacking at this point because I only have one turn left of Sun. I'd rather save it, bring him back in, get the Sun up another time because my team, of course, does, under the radar enjoy the Sun. So I decided to go in my Florges. Should be able to switch into Mega pretty safely. Takes the Air Slash fairly well. I can just go for Synthesis here. I can do basically whatever I want. Bronzong is probably going to come in as it does, and I think I do just go for Synthesis just to get myself back to full. And here I decided to start to get a little more aggressive. His team's getting dwindled, and I decided to go Golisopod. I of course take the Gyro Ball very well. First impression, doing a good chunk, as he actually goes for the Explosion, which I was not expecting. But the it does activate my emergency exit, but the cool thing about the Citrus Berry is that it does bring me into a range where I could switch in on rocks one more time, which basically gives me like another first impression at some point in the game. So that Citrus Berry ended up being very helpful. But I emergency exited out. I decided to go into Ninetales just to get the Sun up. Ninetales isn't really doing much for me at this point, but I just want to get the Sun up because the team can use it, as he does decide to finally bring out the Ampharos. And it does Mega Evolve, but Flamethrower is my best move. It's going to do the most damage in the Sun with the stab, even with the resist. So I go for that. Does a nice chunk, and then he knocks me out with Dragon Pulse. And so at this point, I'm like, okay, the Quagsire's Toxic. It's got to take Stealth Rock damage. The Yanmega is basically at 1%. The Ampharos is pretty low. Lycanroc is looking good. I can Accelerock, even if the Yanmega speed boosts a bunch, I can Accelerock it. My ground DMZ will knock out the Ampharos, and I still have Whimsicott here for the Quagsire, and I can also just, wear it down with something like Florges or even Golisopod. Actually, not Golisopod, because Golisopod is pretty weak. But Whimsicott is going to be doing great here, so I decided to go into it. I get my Chlorophyll, which I was very excited about. It doesn't really matter too much at this point, but I knock out the Ampharos with the Moonblast. I am Choice Specs as well, I believe. So that worked out for me. Quagsire comes out, I'm like, I could switch out so I could come in later and go for my Energy Ball on it, but at 70% Toxic, I'm Choice Specs. I feel like I'll just go for it. And it does end up knocking out the Quagsire, which is great. So even if it hadn't knocked out the Quagsire, it definitely would have brought it to a range where it would have been low enough where somebody else could have knocked him out. So the game's pretty much over at this point. All he has left is his 1% Yanmega. I have several forms of priority. Not several, I have 2 forms of priority. Plus my Chlorophyll Whimsicott, which he couldn't even outspeed with a couple speed boosts. 2 speed boosts. He would need 3 speed boosts. Which he just, triple protect, maybe. What was I going to say? I don't know. Goes into the Yanmega, down to 1%, and doesn't even go for the protect, so I just knock him out. And that's going to be the game. Whimsicott coming in with a nice little sweep at the end there. But yeah, that was a good battle. Lots of good plays on both sides, really. Didn't expect the explosion. I mean, the Satu switch in the beginning could have gone either way, and it just ended up going my way. And yeah, that was just kind of like that was like the first catalyst that sent the game in my direction. Like once I got rid of that thing, I could get my rocks up, and that would be like the end of like one of his biggest offensive and fast threats on his side. And then once his Bronzong exploded, then my fairy types had basically free reign to just start clicking buttons. But yeah, check out Blaze. His link will be down below. He's had some very cool battles. Of course, I had to watch some of his battles just to kind of prepare. But he's got a very cool team. The Cloyster has been a big offensive threat on his side of the field. Anyway, I'm rambling. See you guys in the next week of the CDL. And hopefully things keep going our way. And I'll see you then. Peace out, keep dreaming, and goodbye.